Hi friends, it's Laura. Welcome back to my channel. It's time for another What Sold This Week video. I'm going to be starting off with my Whatnot sales as I do every single week, and then I will tell you what I sold on all of the other platforms. If you're new here, hi, my name is Laura. I sell women's vintage clothing online on sites like Etsy and eBay, sometimes Poshmark and Depop, and also on Whatnot, which is a live auction platform. And I'm going to be starting off with my Whatnot sales today because I finished the show a little while ago. Whatnot is being a little bit difficult for me at the moment. So Whatnot always presents you with a page of all the things that you have to ship. And the way that everything is done on Whatnot, these are all the items that I sold, but there are some people who bought multiple items. And so if one person bought 5 items, Whatnot considers those to be 5 different orders. And in the shipment page, it will obviously group all of the orders together for me. But that part of Whatnot is apparently broken right now. Oh, well, it does tell me my estimated earnings though, $356.80. Yay. But it will not show me the actual shipments. It keeps saying something went wrong, which is problematic. So I am able to look at the orders, but that won't let me sort by buyer. So I'll be able to do it. It's just going to take me a long time. Also, I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. 2 weeks ago, I had a sweater show, and all of my, sweaters are big and bulky. And so I always put the orders together into like poly mailer bags, but I couldn't fit this one particular buyer's sweaters all together. And so I made a note on camera with you all. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to make sure to check all of these because I know that I'll end up missing one. But fortunately for me, multiple items, I couldn't fit them all in the same bag, right? So I knew that I was going to have to be on alert. And what do you think happened? At the end of all my shipping was printed, all the packages were put together, and I had one little sweater left. And I was like, I knew it. I knew I would do it. And I did it. And that's what I'm afraid of today. So we're going to try not to let that happen. I'm going to try not to leave anything out, but it's going to be a little slow going. So I apologize. And of course, I'm going to keep checking back in on my little shipments hub. I think I just made the camera shake. I'm sorry, but it's working. Yay. Okay, cool. Let's hurry up before it gets mad. All right, first up is a repeat buyer for me who purchased one item. That was, where are you? I gotta hurry so that Whatnot doesn't decide to be angry with me again. There you are. This little silk Indian novelty print shirt. It's really pretty. I'm not gonna be super descriptive with showing you items today. Just because I got to get this shit done, right? I got to get some shipping done. It's currently 2:30. Y'all know probably by now that my post office closes at 4. So after I do all of this with the video, I have to then go and print the shipping, and it takes me forever. And then I'm going to be huffing it up the hill to the post office with 700 pounds of Whatnot packages on my back. So I'm just going to fold these up. This Indian print silk top shirt, it's a men's shirt, but I'm going to call it a blouse. It sold for $15. I start most of my bidding at $15. And if I don't say otherwise, whatever the price is that I say that it sold for is the starting bid, unless it got bid up, in which case I will tell you it got bid up. So to blah, blah, blah. But if I don't specify, then it's sold for the starting bid. Don't fall. I'm all over right now. I'm very chaotic. The good news is that I've already done my eBay shipping. So that's good. Happy about that. Fold up, please, little shirt. Doesn't want to fold. It doesn't want to be a good little shirt. There you go. Okay. Did I get a bag for myself to throw all this stuff in? No. Am I going to do that right now? Sure. Okay. Rizzo wants to climb in the bag and eat the plastic. We're just going to have to figure it out. Okay. Rizzo is on a tear today. Everything's on a tear today. Second item that I sold was also to a repeat buyer who purchased this little 50s silk top that I've had for so many more years than I care to count. It needed some work done on the buttons. One button was missing. I did not have a replacement for it. And I thought there was something else wrong with it. And I had this thing sitting for 7 million years. And I guarantee you that all it was that when I realized that a button was missing, I just didn't have buttons back then. And now I do. And so I had this thing sitting around and I would see it all the time and go, oh yeah, but it needs like something. I don't know. It needs a lot. It needed a fucking button. Anyway, so it's got the button and I had to like reinforce a snap or two. This sold for $15. It's so cute. And so don't need any plastic, please, ma'am. Can you not for today? Just for today. Thank you. Run, run. Okay. Hustle, hustle. Next up is a new to me buyer who purchased one item. It is this jumpsuit. It's adorable little 90s rayon print jumpsuit. Those flowers. This sold for $15. Very awesome. So excited. Also, I'm excited that Rizzo moved and I have space to fold on my table right now. Oh, everything is so okay. I feel like today is like one of those, like, I don't know, Mercury's not in retrograde, but something's going on. Everything's like going a little bit wrong, not really wrong. My Whatnot show was nice today. I felt like it was going a little slow, like people weren't really engaged, but I think that just, oh my God, this is a terrible fold job. I think either just the engagement was really like spread out or something, because ultimately I sold a nice amount of things and I made a nice amount of money. And so that was all good. Everybody was really friendly and nice and you know, it was a fun show that way. Can you get out, please, ma'am? Thank you. It just felt a little slow for a bit. All right. Next buyer is a repeat buyer who purchased 6 items. So we're going to get into it. First is this lavender robe. Here we go. That's what I need. So this is a really pretty vintage, like 70s. I'm sorry, this light is like right here for some reason, because every single time I record a video, I have no memory of where the lights go, where the camera goes. I'm like rediscovering it every time. I'm telling you, today's a wild ride. Okay. Robe, lavender, sold for $15. There's a pretty little butterfly on the back. It's so nice. Here's the tag. I know I'm flying through. Somebody commented once on a video that I wasn't really showing the clothes, which was probably fair because it was a what sold video. And so since then I've been trying to like take more time to show them. I figure that you guys are bored because a lot of the time it's like the things that are sold were just in a haul video, like sometimes 2 days before, sometimes like a week before. So I'm like, they don't want to see all this again because I talk too much all the time. So, but then somebody was like, hey, you're not showing any of the clothes. What is in this pocket? Oh my God. So I'm trying to do that. But today I can't. I'm sorry. I want to be a people pleaser and show you, but I cannot. Because I also do not want to drive to the post office. It's far away. By far away, I mean 5 minutes. All right, let's see. I also realized that you were looking at the top of my head, and I'm sorry for that. But again, I'm racing against a clock and against Rizzo, who is sitting here lurking, wanting to leap up. There she is. And take up the little space that I have for folding. Okay, that's not terrible. That came out kind of cute, even under duress. Second item that this buyer purchased. Oh, this is so cool. It's this 90s Express sweater. I love these things. Express Tricot, this particular brand, brand is Express, but the Express Tricot line, they made stunning sweaters, like really excellent quality, really unique. You can see it's all like patchworky looking. It was really cool. This sold for $15 and they're so nice. So I'm very excited for her for this, but like, go look them up, online or whatever. I assume that you all know that I don't get sponsorships. I don't get any affiliate, nothing, right? When I tell you about something, it's just because I like it. So I like to look stuff up on the Gem app, which I think if you're on a desktop, you literally just type in like Gem app and it'll bring you to the page. But it shows you, like, you can use it as like a secondhand clothing search. And it shows you things from Etsy, eBay, Depop, Poshmark, I think Mercari, and also like independent people's websites and Grailed. So it's a really fun platform to look through and it's way easier than using fucking Google. Anyway, next up is this Christmas sweatshirt that sold for $10. It's all like goofy and ridiculous. There's that tag. And part of the reason I would have done 15, but it's got this like bleachy spots on the back. So I went with 10. Flying through. And I feel like my camera is just not at a good setting, but I don't have time. I don't have time to fix it. And I'm sorry. I would love to have time to fix it. I want your viewing experience to be pleasant. All right, let's see. Next up, this buyer also purchased this sweater, which I really like. It's a cotton and linen blend, like rainbow leaf print made by Cheryl Teagues. I mean, you know, like she's a model from the 80s. So made by Cheryl Teagues, the same way like Jessica Simpson and Miley Cyrus, you know, have their own clothing lines, and Delta Burke and whoever else. I know I'm only quoting all the old lady lines because I don't know who the more current people are who have their own lines. Anyway, this sweater sold for $15. So really cute. And got that. Next up, same buyer still, purchased this really cute little rayon skirt. It's like a 90s hippie style skirt. It's adorable. That sold for $15. I'm also rushing because like I am tired and cranky. I want to get out of this outfit, look at this dress, y'all. This was in my haul video, my most recent haul video. And I said I was going to keep it, and look at it. It's so cute. I love it. But I want to be wearing fucking sweatpants right now and a t-shirt. Okay. And then the final item that this buyer purchased was a little t-shirt. I think I sold all my little t-shirts this week. They all happen to be like New Jersey towns. So this was a Franklin Lakes, and it's a Screen Stars. There, not grabbing the tag for you. This one I sold for $5. When I have like a weird little t-shirt like this, I frequently try to do like 5. I think I had one today that I sold for 10. I think partially just because I liked it more. But you know, if it doesn't have any, like Franklin Lakes is just a town in New Jersey. So, you know, it's not like it's a humorous vintage tee. It's not like there's anything, it's so random. So a lot of times if I can get them at a cheaper price, which I frequently do, then I will list them for like $5. So let's see. All right, we got to get these in a bag. Is this the bigger bag? I think it is. Yep, this is the big one. I don't know if we're going to fit because that Express sweater is fat. I'll be right back where I was last week with trying to make sure. Let's see. Trying to make sure that I don't forget. Although I think this one, I can just fold this one off to the side. It might all fit. It might. You get to listen to me argue with clothing. All right, look, this is going to be a little squashed. A little bit squashed. It's going to be a little smooshed, if you will. Let's see. Can we do it? No, this is not going to work out. It's going to be too squished. So I'm going to stick those in a separate bag. Maybe. Oh, that's going to be squished. Can I tell y'all this? I know everything is always chaos. My house is always chaotic. I always complain about it, but it's just like getting to me this week. I was really feeling like everything is too chaotic. I was feeling like I wanted to take a week off of whatnot. I wasn't going to do that today, but I was thinking like, oh, maybe next week I'll take, a week off of doing a show. And then yesterday I was like super invigorated and I was like, I don't need to take a week off. Everything's great. And now today I'm like, just because things are a mess. Come on, don't be mean. Thank you. Okay. Next up is a repeat buyer for me who purchased, come out, please. Come out. This little disco dress. This is adorable, little 70s handkerchief hem style. So cute. And this sold for $15. So we did have some stuff get bid up today. I guess we just haven't gotten to it yet, but it was a little bit exciting and it was fun and I enjoyed it. So this folded up. Okay, let's see. Where are all of my bags? Everything. These poly mailers are very slidey and they just don't stay where they're put. And Rizzo's trying to do something. I swear to God, this cat. Riz Biz, can you not please? She doesn't like it when I yell at her. Next up, new to me buyer who purchased 5 items. So first up, this is going to be a big fold job, so I hope Rizzo does not get back up on this table. This caftan thing, this is amazing. Look how big this is. It's fantastic. And I think, oh, it does have a tag there. And look at that. This sold for, where did you all go? What? Oh, never mind. This sold for $15. So that's cool. All right, let's see. I am so... We're going to stop talking about it, Laura. Stop talking about how discombobulated you are. Let's see. I'm trying to be entertaining. Here's what happens, right? So, like, if any of you ever do, like, I don't even want to say public speaking, but kind of public speaking. I'm sure it's very similar, you know. But even like, you know, live shows, you know, like on Whatnot, Poshmark, anything like that. It's like you have to turn on the performance personality to a degree. And I mean, mostly like I'm kind of the same all the time as I am during performing. But, you know, sometimes it's like I want to be vegging out and not doing any of this. And also sometimes my brain doesn't want words to come out in the order that I mean for them to come out in. So I'm all discombobulated. Anyway, next up, see, what was that? Next up for this buyer is this green caftan style like dress, which is fantastic. I love this thing. Look at that. The colors are gorgeous. There's the tag. Maybe. There it is. It's very faded. It doesn't really, I can't tell what the tag is. So if you're like, what was that? I can't tell either. This sold for $15. This is really soft. I love it. And let's see. Get it folded. Yeah, maybe all of my rambling right now, I mean, I'm always rambling, but like I'm extra rambly about weird things, is maybe it's like a side effect of all this other overwhelm. Everything is just like extra super duper cluttered. And it's making me unfocused and have a hard time. Next from this buyer, another, this is a 2-piece set. Pajamas, so cute. I'm going to fold up the pants, but then I'll show you the shirt before I fold the shirt. This pajama set sold for $15. It's really cute. It's like a new old stock pajama set. And let's see. Get this together. All right. Oh, it's so cute. Okay. Fold that. And then the shirt. So it's just a little Asian style. It's got some embroidery and the little frog closure guys. It's very cute. There's that tag. You can't see. There it is. So yeah, this set sold for $15, which I think I just told you. But let's get this folded. Rizzo's back on the table, being in my way, but she's adorable. So what are you gonna do? All right, let's see. Foldy fold. I do try to fold everything so that it at least looks cute. Like this is terrible because it's too skinny, but we're in a rush. Okay, next up is this guy. I love this thing. 70s. It's like a robe type of situation. It's this like animal print with this watercolor flower kind of printed over it. And then travel light is the tag. Let's see. This sold for $15. And Rizzo's in the middle of the table, so this is getting like an extra terrible fold job because she is smack dab in the center of everything. So sorry about that. And then the final item that this buyer purchased is the sister piece to that, the nightgown version. So cute. Also sold for $15. I was excited about that. I think this is the third show that these guys have been in. And when I found these, I was like super stoked. I was like, these are going to sell immediately. And they didn't. And I was surprised. But that happens a lot. So sometimes it's just like people love it, but it's not their size. Sometimes they love it, but it's not their vibe. Sometimes it's just the right person is not in the show at that time. So, all right, let's see. What bag? Let's try a large bag. The large bags that absolutely want to fall on the floor right now. Okay, let's see. So we're going to do this. Do this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just making sure that I've got 5. Yes, 5. And then 4, 5. Alrighty. How are we doing? 250. Let me cutting it close today. Really want to go see Esther at my post office because I don't want to drive anywhere, and I love Esther, but also cutting it close. All right, next is a new to me buyer who purchased one item, and it's these really awesome 90s wow, they're shorts, pastel flower print shorts, cotton denim. Yes, okay, never mind. I don't know what's going on. I was so like sharp and with it yesterday and I slept okay, but apparently my brain is on strike now, so that's okay. And these shorts sold for $15. That's not what I need them to do. Here we go. Okay. Hi, Riz. What's up, ma'am? All right, let's see. Next up is a repeat buyer for me who purchased one item. Such a cute little piece. This is like a little orange polka dot tunic top. I know it doesn't look particularly adorable here, but it was really cute when it was on. I know that it was part of like some two-piece set at some point, probably either a romper or some little hot shorts, hot pants. But it is just on its own now, little tunic top thing. And this sold for $15. So I was really excited. It looked surprisingly cute when I just put it on with jeans. I was worried about like trying to style it in a way that showed its potential, but it looked really, no, net. Rizzo's trying to intervene here. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you, but I do not need your assistance, my love. All right, let's see. No. She immediately went to try to eat it. Rizzo loves plastic. A lot of cats do, but she is like a bloodhound for plastic, man. I swear she smells it. Right? You're lucky you're cute. Which I know I keep telling you today, and it's true. All right, let's see. Next up is a repeat buyer who purchased one item, and it was this really adorable little mohair sweater. I love the little sort of flared sleeves, and it's got these little like ribbon bits tied. It's so cute. This sold for $15. And again, I'm sorry I'm not showing you more detail, but I'm fucking hustling. Hustling! Every day I'm hustling. All right, let's see. Let's see. Hustle-rama. Okay. $15. All right. There it is. Next up is a repeat buyer for me who purchased one item. It's another one of these t-shirts. This one is the one that I listed for $10. First of all, I like the color. It's unique color. But also Montclair State College is where I went. It was Montclair State University when I went, but you know, I thought this was cute. I almost kept it, but I don't know, for some reason, because I'm like, I don't play basketball or care about basketball, I was like, So, and this sold for $10, which is what I started the bidding at, instead of like normally I would do $5, but I did really like it a lot. So for some reason, plus I think that I felt like the graphic was a little bit more fun. I don't know. It's adorable. Sold for 10. All right, next is a repeat buyer who purchased 4 items. And I know you watched this, so I'm going to try to be coherent during this part, especially. First up is this shirt, which I love. I started the bidding at 15 on this, and this sold for 21. I bought this from the estate sale that I went to somewhat recently, where everything was plus size. I'm going to try to remember to like put the info card wherever that goes, up in one of these corners. I'm not one of those YouTube people who could be like, click here. I don't know where it's going to go. It goes up there somewhere. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to try and link that, but it had so much fun stuff. I didn't even show you this shirt, really. It's amazing. Look at that. I know I'm still not showing you because I got to hustle, but sold for 21. So that was nice. Such a cool shirt. All right, there's that. The second item that this buyer purchased is also from that same estate sale. This is very wrinkled, and I'm so sorry, but you can tell what's like. I don't have it together today. Just a long pink gingham, but the collar particularly was super awesome. This sold for $15, and that's what the bidding was starting at. Really cute. I love it. That was such a good estate sale. I have so many pieces that I've been working on from that estate sale. Some of them are things that have needed washing. So I've done some soaking and sent stuff off to the regular laundromat. And I have a few more things to soak. So I can't wait to get some of that stuff posted. There's some cute like 50s or 60s cotton dresses that I'm going to be putting up on regular sites like Etsy and eBay. All right, the next item that this buyer purchased is this really adorable little granny square kind of vest. There's no tags on this. It does seem handmade. It feels like 70s acrylic knit yarn. Being that I don't knit, I don't know if modern acrylic yarn feels like this as well, but I don't think so, but I don't know. And this sold for $15. It does not want to fold in a cute way. I feel like you'll forgive me for that though. So, okay, next up for the same buyer is this blouse, which I thought is so cool. It's kind of a tunic style blouse as well. This was listed for 15 and it sold for 17. And I would show you more details of it. Such a rush. Okay, sorry. It's really nice though. It's like very crispy, like it's new. Like it's a new old stock piece, although it didn't have any kind of tag on it to indicate that it was new. It just feels like it's never been washed or worn. Really nice. I feel like this also had some sort of outfit companion, like matching pants or something, but I couldn't find it. No, I had it all folded nice. And I grabbed it wrong and it fell apart. Try this again, please. There you go. And then that's it for that buyer. Rizzo, stop eating the plastic. Why am I trying to put that in there? It's not going to fit. Ma'am, bye-bye. Is Mercury in retrograde? Something. What planet is misbehaving itself besides Earth? You know, Earth is, I know, right? I got it. But what else? Because this is abnormal today. Busy Bee. Miss Ma'am. Please. Please. All right. Girl, this is like a very messy bag. Okay. I think we're good. Oh. You know how when you're rushing and everything gets screwy? And it's like, if I wasn't rushing, it would all be fine. That's probably what's happening today. Okay, next up is a repeat buyer for me who purchased one of the most amazing shirts ever. This also came from that plus size estate sale. Look at this thing. Look at that print. Amazing. And then look at this collar. Phenomenal. And it also has a pretty cool tag there. So cool. This sold for $23. I started the bidding at $15 on this. Now, sometimes people are watching this and they are horrified at how low I'm selling some of this stuff for. Getting bid up to 23 from 15 is like pretty decent for me, since most of the stuff sells at my asking price, my starting bid. And every now and then I'll have something that gets bid up like a crazy amount, but not that frequently. Like, you know, the highest one that I can recall went to like 121 or 129, something like that. I've had sometimes that have gone up to like in the 60s or 70s, I'm sure. I can't think specifically. But, you know, most of the time stuff just sells for the starting bid. So even getting bid up to 23, I'm like, hey, that's great. All right. And the final package is another repeat buyer who bought 3 things from me. The first up is one of my sewing experiment shirts. So this is a shirt I've had since 2020. It's really cool, but the arm side was jacked. So this is what it looked like what it should look like, right? It's got this nice binding on there, but on this side, the binding was all out and the seam was all undone. So I just kind of stitched everything back, but the binding doesn't exist everywhere, you know, and where it does exist, some of it is a little fuzzy. And then also there's like a vent at the back, and I don't know what happened. It's uneven. It needed to be re-hemmed. So I don't know why it's weird like that, but look at the collar on this thing and the print and everything. So it's pretty fantastic. So I did the work to fix that stuff, which is good for me and like learning experience and whatever. And I listed it for $10, and that is what it sold for. So yay. Let's see. I don't feel like all of that, like in a normal case, the amount of work I did to try and fix it is something that like is worth more, you know, the cost of the item plus that amount of time like makes it worth more than $10. But I don't know what I'm doing yet. So these fixes are very janky and I'm like figuring things out. So I'm like, you know, excited if somebody buys them. I just like saving the pieces. The second item that this buyer purchased was another t-shirt. So this one is from Westfield, New Jersey, the YMCA. And then on the back, it's got a little bubble yum. So this is cute. I started this at $5 and this sold for $11. So that was a surprise. I think I started it at $5. If it wasn't $5, it would have been $10, but I'm pretty sure it was $5. So, and you've got Rizzo hair on here. So you're welcome for that. So sorry. And get that folded up. And then the third item that this buyer purchased, and the last item from my show today, is this romper. I love this. So this is like a 60s era romper. You got this little flap and then there's the shorts underneath, and it's like skirted like that in the back as well. There's no tags in this at all, but it's this really fun, like slinky kind of material. Got your metal zipper back here. It's so cute. I love it. And this was started at, I think I started this one at 20. But it sold for $36. So that's amazing. It's possible I started it at 15, but I'm pretty sure I started it at 20 because it's awesome and I love it. So, and that's everything that I sold during my Whatnot show today. So it is 3:03. I might actually have a shot. I might be able to make it to the post office. Sometimes my Whatnot gets real contentious with my printer. I don't know what it is, but it likes to delay all sorts of stuff and it gets weird. And sometimes it gets to the point where I have to shut the whole computer down to make it work. So let's all fingers crossed for me that that's not how today goes, because I would really like to print this shipping, hustle my butt up to Esther, come back, put on comfy clothes, and become a vegetable. So thank you. I'm not thanking you for nothing, because you're going to stay and see what I sold on eBay and Etsy. Probably that's all it. It's just eBay and Etsy. But I'll see you in a second. All right, let's see what I sold on all of my other platforms. We are going to start off, as we always do, with Etsy. Hello, Etsy. So you can see I have this very adorable dress here that I sold. I have to get out my little paper telling me all of the figures for everything. This was an 80s floral dress. It's the kind of dress I refer to as like a mother of the bride style. Here in the main photo, I have it styled with a belt, but traditionally it would be worn like this sort of like free waist, or it's not really a drop waist, it's just sort of free flowing. um, I loved the colors and the fabric on this. I thought it was really pretty. And let's see, I'll show you the tag as well because funsies. So I had this listed for $59, as you can see, and the buyer used a coupon for 20% off, so the price came down to $47.20. I pay shipping on Etsy, so I paid $6.37 in shipping, and the total I made was $40.83. And of course, all of these totals are going to be before my cost of goods, before platform fees and stuff. It's just the sold price minus the shipping, essentially. So there was that. That's all I sold on Etsy. All right, so we're going to move on to eBay. Next up, eBay. This shirt. So this was purchased by a woman who is, I was so grateful that she purchased from me. She had purchased a similar shirt a couple of days before, but I had to cancel that sale because I had already sold the item on Etsy and I never marked it as sold in Vendu. Vendu will automatically detect sales from most platforms, but not with Etsy. And I'm assuming that Etsy won't work that out with them. That's my read on the situation. So I have to remember to tell Vendu when I've sold something on Etsy so that Vendu can then take it off of all the other platforms. And I forgot. So I had to cancel the sale. I felt really bad. But a couple of days later, she purchased this shirt. And I was just really grateful that she was giving me a second chance and was still having faith in me that I wasn't a terrible seller. So it's a really cool shirt. I had it listed for $49. And there's the tag because tags are fun. I had sent out an offer for 20% off. So it sold for $39.20. The buyer pays shipping on eBay. So I made $39.20 on that one. It's very cute. All right, next up on eBay, nylons. You know I love me some vintage nylons. This is, I had several lots of vintage nylons for sale this particular week, and this one sold for the highest amount of any of them. So I went through all of my size 10.5 nylons. That's what I was posting, and I broke them down. I had a couple of 10.5 longs, so they're a longer length for the leg, and then I broke out the 10.5 longs into separate listings. And then also, as I have been doing, there's like the beige, then the weird colors, then the textured. So that's kind of all the lots. This was 10.5 long with the back seam and the Cuban heel. There were 8 pair, and these sold for $202.50. I started the bidding on these at $4.99. So you can see that back seam there, and then that all that, like, this is referred to as a Cuban heel, how it comes up like that, right? So that was cool. Excellent. Super excited about that. I love vintage nylons. Next up is just this box. It was the box only. It did have a pair of nylons in it, but the box lid didn't indicate any kind of color, sizing, nothing like that. It wasn't really specific to those stockings. And I was hoping that the box would be of value to someone, like a value enough that they would buy it just for the box. And I mean, obviously somebody did, but I started the bidding at $1.99 and that's what it sold at. So, it wasn't really worth separating out, but that's okay because it's still really cool and hopefully somebody will enjoy it just for the box. It was just really neat. I love that they did this. So that's it. I started it at $1.99. It sold for $1.99 and there we go. Next up is more actual nylons. This is a lot of 5 pair, size 10.5. They were white with the back seam and the Cuban heel. And they sold for $103.50. I started the bidding at $4.99 on these as well. Next up is another lot of 3 pair, size 10.5 long, and these were seamless. They did not have the seam or the Cuban heel. And these started at $1.99 because it was only 3 pair, but they sold for $36.35, which is not too bad considering it was only 3 pair. So yeah, that was nice. Next lot is size 10 and a half, 11 pair of seamless nylons in a bunch of different colors, like some gray and some midnight black and some like darker taupe kind of colors. I started the bidding at $4.99 and these sold for $79.55. So that was fun. Next up is size 10 stocking, 10 and a half, 16 pair of the textured nylons. So these all had different kind of textures and generally they were unusual colors. So we've got like some navy, and then this is called, I think I don't know what it's called, like a mocha kind of color. Right? So those are cool. And 16 pair of those sold for $69.98. Next up is size 10 and a half, 11 pair of seamless beige nylons. They sold for $43. I started the bidding on these at $4.99. And then the final lot of nylons that I sold are these guys, size 10 and a half, 7 pair of back seam stockings with the Cuban heel, and they sold for $105.50. So that was really fantastic. I love selling these nylons. They're so much fun, obviously. And I don't have a whole lot left. My next lot that I go through will be the size 11s, which is the largest size that I have. And then after the size 11s, I do have some other vintage nylons, but they're the more stretchy ones. So I don't think that those are going to go for as much. I'm also going to sell those in lots, but I'm not expecting as large of a return on those. And then finally, I do have like some random ones. So as I would go through some nylons, like let's say I was going through the size 10 and a halves, but there would be like a random size 9 that was in there or size 10 or something. So I no longer, I've already sold the lot versions of those. So I'll just kind of like put those all up individually at some point, and it'll just be sort of like straggler bits. But that's all the nylons. I'm very excited for the last grouping because they're size 11s. And usually the bigger the size, the better they sell for, the better price they sell for. The only other thing about this particular week, and I don't have screenshots to show you on this, but I had 2 items returned to me on Whatnot. Now, I'm going to do a separate video about this because Whatnot is not really a platform that encourages and or accepts returns very frequently. And traditionally, Whatnot handles all of the customer service for stuff. So if you have a problem with an item you purchased, you reach out and Whatnot just handles it, and the seller might not even ever know about it. But they did start a beta program where the seller can handle their own return processes. And you're thinking, why would you do that? But I did opt in for that. And there's reasons why I opted in. And I'll talk about that in a separate video that I'll probably put out in about a week. But so when this buyer opened cases for these 2, they purchased, I think 5 items total. They opened cases for 2 of them. The requests come to me and then I handled them. I ended up just accepting returns on both of them. And it costs a lot of fucking money to accept returns on Whatnot. I'll just say that. So I ended up having to refund essentially a total of around $56, $33.62 for the first item, $22.57 for the second. And I'll go into like all the details and everything because it's a little bit convoluted. And there's stuff that you should know, but I want to make a whole separate video about that. But I did have those 2 returns. So my Whatnot show, I made, after all the fees and everything, as you heard in the beginning of the video, around $350 something. But because of those 2 returns, I really only got a payout of $300, but it's okay. I am going to relist those items on a regular platform and sell them. Because of how much I ended up having to refund, I'll probably just sort of break even on those. I'll probably sell them for around what I paid out to have them returned, but that's okay. Like it happens, So, and we'll talk about why I didn't just refund and let the buyer keep them. Anyway, that's all that I have for this week. I hope that you appreciated this or found it helpful or that it helped you waste some time, get your dishes done, whatever. And I appreciate you watching it so much as always. If you liked the video, if you can give me a thumbs up, I would love that. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love that some more. And hopefully I will see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching this. Bye.